So good morning. It's Wednesday morning and we're heading south on a little road trip just south of Tampa, Florida. We're heading to the International Independent Showmen's Association trade show. That is a trade show that is specifically geared toward the outdoor entertainment industry. So this is held in Gibsonton, Florida, which is just southeast of Tampa. It's more commonly referred to as Gibtown. And about 100 years ago, this town became the winter home for a lot of carnivals and carnival performers or circus freaks, as they're more commonly called. The town was full of nothing but freaks. There wasn't anybody to pick on them. And it also had special zoning that allowed them to keep their carnival rides and their elephants just in the front yard, which a lot of HOAs would probably frown upon right now. So the International Independent Showmen's Association, it's sort of a fraternal organization, and they have a permanent clubhouse there and grounds where this trade show is held. And then across the street they also support and maintain a museum. It's kind of a museum of carnival history. So we're going to be visiting that while we're there too. So when you think about carnivals and things like that, there's a lot of things you need to run a carnival. It's not just the rides. You need the concession stands. You need the prizes, you need insurance, and all of those vendors are going to be represented at this show. Here's the Wisdom Gravitron. It's so cool to see all of this equipment brand new. And an umbrella ride with motorcycles. Really nice looking truss. There were quite a few bunkhouse vendors showing off their sleeping quarters for the crew, as well as commissary wagons. This company makes tents, banners, wraps, signs, ballycloths. Pretty much anything you can sew out of vinyl. A lot of this equipment from amusement devices and manufacturing seems to end up with the rental market. This is the Watkins Expo wheel. They're made up north by me, up in Maryland, practically in my backyard. Or maybe that's actually my front yard.
Yeah, I gotta go and see that because I didn't.
This Visa Group dog ride had been trailer mounted by Rides for You, and I'd been following along the progress on Facebook the weeks leading up to Gibtown. This is a 30-seat one-trailer swing ride, and at the time of this video it's currently listed at usedrides.com for sale. I always keep an eye on how rides are racked, and I really like how the Groovy Bus Ride trailer just sits right down on the ground. I've been told that this show is a lot smaller than it had been in previous years, and I'm not sure that's a result of still recovering from the pandemic, or if trade shows are just not as important a means for people to gather information anymore. But either way, I still had a good time. There were several concession trailer manufacturers at the show, or grab joints as they're called. The worst part of seeing all these shiny new trailers there was all they did was made you hungry because none of them were selling any food. I like looking at the concession trailers and the game trailers and try to figure out how they fold up. The Pee-wee Burger stand was open inside though, so we got to try the world-famous Pee-wee Burger. Inside the building there were tons of plush vendors, as well as posters and printing. You can also buy all the equipment you need to outfit a popcorn stand or a snow cone stand, cotton candy stand, or fresh squeezed lemonade. And even ran into the Action lighting booth, which is where we got the lights for our restoration. This is a rather large classified ads board sponsored by usedrides.com. I kind of blurred it out because I didn't know if these people wanted their phone numbers on the internet. All sorts of signs. So that's a quick run around the show. We're going to run over across the street now and check out the museum. The museum has an overwhelming amount of displays tucked into every corner. I thought this restored Spitfire ride tub was pretty cool. This is a real fabric-cobbled together thing. It's a kerosene-fired foundry burner heating up a cotton candy machine that's powered by a sewing machine treadle. I spent quite a bit of time examining the construction of this Ferris wheel from 1903, and I've come to the conclusion that I'm pretty sure I could build that in my backyard. So this King ride is one of the reasons I was looking forward to coming to the museum. It's one of their utility rides that's populated with nothing but tugboats, and that's the same tugboat tub that is on our combo ride. I need to find a source for those missing bells. These little cars come from a time when they actually had live monkey races at carnivals. I always enjoy seeing the pretzel cars or just dark rides in general. I'd love to restore a dark ride someday. They have a nice little library on the second floor, and I got kind of excited because I misread this book and thought that it said King Brochures. I got special permission from the museum director to look at this, only to find out it actually said King Brothers Circus. There's a model carnival on the second floor that I just found completely fascinating. There's 15,000 hand-painted people, 127 rides, 74 shows, 275 concession stands. It's what I would call the greatest carnival that never was. There's rides on there that don't travel anymore. There's some rides on there that I don't think have ever traveled in the United States. They're only European rides. It's really impressive just to walk around this thing. It took me a full 15 minutes to walk completely around this model. There's a Chance Turbo ride, and a little bit further down the display there's a Raven. There were only 2 Ravens ever made. There's a pair of sky wheels. We've got both the Ring of Fire and the High Roller side by side. This is the first of 2 Gravitron rides on the display. There's so many neat details on this display, even down to the workers just fooling around behind the scenes. Small little kiddie land. And that appears to be a model of that Spitfire ride that we saw the tub from earlier. And if one model wasn't enough, there's actually 2. This one also contains some really rare rides. There's just so much more here that I don't have time to show you. If you're ever in the Tampa area, do yourself a favor and pay a visit to this museum. Just be sure to check the website for their current hours. And if you like content like this, click that link to the left and come along for the ride.